The regular meeting of the Governing Board of Education is called to order by myself, Jody McClay, at 4:13 p.m. on Tuesday, December 13th, 2022, at the Temecula Valley High School Theater. For the record, the three new board members, Jennifer Wiersma, Daniel Gonzalez, and Dr. Joseph Komrosky, were officially sworn in today before closed session by Riverside County Board of Education President Barbara Hale. Allison Barclay, our returning newly elected board member, was officially sworn in today, also before closed session, by me. We will repeat the swearing in open session just after the flag salute this evening so that the audience, family, and friends can observe. Approval of agenda. Are there any requests for changes to the agenda?
Yes.
What would you like to change?
Okay. With respect to item 9, the resolution number 2022-23-20, policy against racism, it is my understanding that this has not been vetted by the board attorney. Is that correct?
It has not been vetted.
Okay. Therefore, there is an issue that making a resolution public, which has not been vetted by our attorney, could put us in a position of jeopardy. So I would ask that resolution either be tabled or sent to committee so that the board attorney can vet it, and then we can discuss it. And I would make the same for resolution number 10. Since it has not been vetted by our attorneys, I would like it removed from the agenda.
So we would need, and I apologize, I'm thinking here, we have had an attorney read them both, but we have not had an opportunity for that attorney to share comments with the board. So I want to be sure that I'm completely answering your question. If you would like to remove either or both of those, we would need a motion to amend the agenda as well as a second, and then we would need to vote on that. So other board members, this would be your opportunity to weigh in.
I'm sorry, you said that the attorney did have an opportunity to review those, but we were not provided with the feedback?
You wouldn't unless we would bring that attorney forward. We would need more time for that.
Understood.
So I just wanted to clarify, an attorney read them. I do believe the attorney has some concerns. We would need an opportunity to let that attorney speak to you or discuss those with you. I just wanted to be sure that I was clear on
Yes.
that, Mr. Schwartz.
Is there no ability to speak with the attorney today in any capacity about that?
Not the attorney who did the initial read. We do have an attorney coming tonight, as you know, to do a presentation on the Brown Act. He is with the same firm. I'm not sure if he has been in the loop on those with his colleague or not, so we could ask him that.
Rather than pulling the agenda item, can we maybe address that in open session on that item? Would you be willing to do so, to see if maybe we can table that at that point after having a discussion about the merits of the agenda?
I do have other concerns about the two items which I have not spoken on. For example, in the policy against racism, there is a statement that racist acts have been committed, which is, to me, an admission of guilt, that we have done something is done that has been wrong and we haven't done anything about it. I don't want to put that out in the open.
If I may, Mr. Schwartz, I want us to be very careful. This is not a time to discuss these items. We just need to very quickly,
Okay.
unfortunately, decide, do you want to discuss them this evening? And I think you made a motion not to discuss them
No,
this
my
evening.
my
So-
motion is to table the two items or send them to committee and not discuss them openly tonight.
May I make a motion to discuss them?
First, let's see if we have a second on this one.
I would second that because I feel like once it's presented on the agenda, it's presented for a vote, not a discussion. So when it's presented as a discussion item, it's a little bit different than presenting it as an item for a vote. So I would agree that we should table it and put it as a discussion item in the future, as opposed to how it is presented tonight for a vote.
So we have we have a motion on the floor to remove the two items. We have a second. All in favor? If there are three, they will be removed. If there
I'd
are
like to
not three,
put forward a substitute motion to put these on the agenda for tonight.
first, just as a point of
We have
order,
to let the vote go through?
do we have three that want to remove? Okay, then that motion dies. So now, Dr. Komrosky, you'd like to make a motion to,
Keep these on the agenda for tonight as action items.
so that would be, I will take a motion and a second then to approve the agenda as is. Is that what I'm hearing? Or unless there are any other changes to the agenda?
Question of clarification. If these go to the agenda, if this motion gets passed through, can we amend a typo? And, okay, good.
Absolutely. In
As is
fact,
the-
they're
yep.
labeled both drafts,
Yep,
so yes.
perfect.
I do have one other question about the agenda. Can I ask that now, or do we need to vote?
No, you may.
Okay, my question is, can we possibly have an opportunity to have board comments placed after the public comments to simply be able to acknowledge and thank people, not to address individual items, but so that they can be thanked for their time and for being here? Is that a possibility with the schedule?
So
Well,
there are two answers to that. Yes, you may do that right now as we are amending the agenda, but I would need a motion to do that. I would need a second to do that, and then we need three people to agree that we want, I'm hearing you say, to move board comments after public comments. And then just for your information, tonight, you are going to also review and decide the sequence of meetings between now and December of next year. And so that also is a perfect opportunity if you want to have that discussion to do it permanently or for the year. But this is the exact time where you would do that right now if you want to make the change for this evening. So I'm hearing a motion from Mrs. Wiersma to move public or board comments to right after public comments. Do we have a second on that?
I did not make a motion. One other question, can there be a time, I know that board comments usually come at the end. Is there an ability to do that twice? Or is it only one time that that can be done throughout the meeting?
I believe it could be done twice, and I apologize, it's not a motion yet. That was just a question.
I would like to make a motion to move.
Well, and just to clarify, in the bylaws, the purpose of the board comments, it's pretty clear what the purpose is to really discuss what board members have been doing and how they have been engaging and things like that, not really to comment on public comment, because we really are not permitted to comment directly to public comment.
Right.
I think, which is why it's left at the end, because also it's a good time to discuss what was discussed in the board meeting. So if we have thoughts or anything about what was presented, that's really, I believe, the reason that it's a good spot to have it at the end. You certainly can, bring up things that were mentioned in public comment, but it's a little difficult to have it so early in the meeting.
Right.
Because it's not really the purpose of the comments.
I know Marietta functions in that capacity, and so I just know, having attended board meetings in the past, to be acknowledged and have that opportunity to hear from the board, whether it's just generalities, would be a wonderful thing. It wouldn't negate having that again at the end to obviously discuss aspects of the meeting. So that was my question, is if tonight's a special night, and I just want people to be thanked and recognized for spending the time,
So, and I apologize, are you making a motion then to move board comments to after public comments for tonight?
Only if we have the ability to have two different opportunities to do so.
And I believe we do.
Okay, then I
And
do
a
make that
question
motion.
for clarification, please. If we do board comments after the public comments, we're not addressing specific comments from the audience. We're just thanking the audience for.
Yes, and I think that's a wonderful question to also pose of Mr. Robbins this evening when he does the Brown Act discussion during information item. He'll be able to clarify that, but my understanding is, yes, you would need to be careful because sometimes public comments aren't agendized, so we can't engage in a dialogue or have conversation about them, but it is absolutely okay to thank people and at least acknowledge that we are hearing them.
And I mean, just also, I mean, the president definitely can thank them afterwards. We don't have to have it as board comments where everyone goes down the line, just in the interest of time.
Well, then perhaps we could
'Cause
leave
we're-
it at that,
we're
in the
already running
understanding that the
quite late.
president would have that opportunity and that we've spoken about it to thank people and make sure they understand that we're grateful.
Thanks for that clarification, Allison, that helps. Okay.
So we have a motion to add, not necessarily move board comments because we want to leave them at the end, but to add an ability to make brief board comments after the public comment. Is that a motion on the floor?
I'll make the motion, and if there's not a second or there's not agreement with that, then whoever's president can go ahead and make that wrap.
So do we have a second?
I'm sorry, I think we should talk about changing the structure of the meetings at that point, and for tonight, I just.
Mr.
think there's no-
Gonzalez, I apologize, but because we are broadcasting, I know
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
struggling to hear you.
I
Thank
was over
you.
here having a one-on-one without you guys. I was just saying that I think that we have the ability to have that discussion this evening when we talk about the organization of our meeting. And if we want to change that moving forward to maybe mirror more some of the other boards that have done that, I think we should talk about it briefly and maybe change it moving forward. But to
Great.
just add that in tonight, there's probably still already a lot going on.
Then
this
we'll
evening.
leave it at a president wrap.
If that's
An acknowledgement.
okay.
That works?
I love the idea.
Okay, so then I'm not going to call for a vote on that. It sounds like we don't have a second. Do we have a motion, or can I take a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Is that going back to, oh, yeah, I put forward a motion to approve the agenda as is.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Komorowski and a second by Mr. Gonzalez, correct? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed?
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 Okay, give me 1 second. I'm the clerk tonight as well until we assign folks, so I just need to be sure I have it. All right, the motion is adopted, 3-2, with members Schwartz and Barclay dissenting. All right, in accordance with Government Code Section 54957.7, the board will meet in closed session for consideration of the items listed in Section F. The governing board welcomes public comments. This is the time for closed session public comments. Any person wishing to provide a public comment to the board is required to attend the meeting. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes to a maximum total of 30 minutes for comments on the closed session agenda only. Do we have anyone here for closed session public comments? I'm seeing a no. All right, then with that, we end the public portion of this. We're going to go into closed session. We will wait until we stop broadcasting, and we will see the public back at 5:30 for recognitions and open session at 6.